Hey, welcome, Holy Nation. It's been a bit. I've been really sick, but getting back to the grind of just giving you guys some revelation that the Lord is showing me. I was sick for about 2 weeks, and it was pretty bad. And one of the biggest things is my relationship with the Lord started to wane a bit because I was just like, oh, Lord, I'm sick. Oh, I feel like garbage. Oh, I don't want to do this and do that. And I think everybody can, you know, really know what's going on when you're sick. Just it's really rough. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is just when your life kind of gets derailed of trying to get it back on track. And it's really tough because back in October, and it's November right now, to give you reference if you're watching in the future, I had really big plans, especially I've been doing a lot of running. I've been running almost 5K a day, and that was before I got sick. And I was at the cusp of actually starting to do 5K consistently, not just once, rarely kind of thing. But all of a sudden I got sick, slammed sick, no more running for 2 weeks. And I was doing like running every other day. And when I felt really good in my joints. And then after 2 weeks of being sick, that like habit was gone. Actually, a lot of my devotional habits were gone, and it completely just side railed. My mental was gone in a lot of ways of just like what's going on. I was completely derailed, and that's what I want to go into today of just talking about checking in. Obviously we know about checking in, right? When you go out to the store, you check your pockets. You're like, oh, where's my keys? I got my wallet. Okay, I got myself. I got pants on. We're good to go, kind of thing. Well, after this brief season of sickness, and thank you for your prayers out there who have been praying for me. Uh, I, I I just was like, where am I? Like, what's going on? What's happening? And it's like I want to re-engage with my old habits again, and it's hard because just in that short period of time, there's a lot of barriers already. Of I don't want to go back to run. I'm finally able to breathe again. I'm, I getting re-engaging with my devotional, which I was very diligent with, but just because I was sick, when I was sick, it wasn't like I was purposely ignoring God in any kind of way. Actually, the complete opposite. The Lord was always with me, and I knew that. But I was sleeping, I was staying up till 3 a.m. because, you can't sleep, your circadian rhythm is off, everything is going wonky. But where I'm going with checking in is reanalyzing where you are at and where your body's at, where your physical health is at. Mine was, even in 2 weeks, was deteriorating at a rapid rate because I wasn't nearly as healthy. Obviously, and that wasn't just talking about sickness. I mean, like eating habits, no physical activity. Things just start going down hard, and you can feel it, kind of thing. And then your emotional state starts really going through the ringer. Checking in. I got right here finances, dreams, home, hobbies. I said wife and kids, but I'll just say that as relationships, career, your mental health, your physical health, activities, and time. And I'm going to go into each one of these. So finances, really simple, but where are you going financially? And me, I had to check in. Where was I going financially? Like, am I happy with my job? Sometimes we're not, but we're still, obligated to be there because of responsibilities outside ourselves. Get a coffee, you guys. Enjoy. All right. If you didn't pause that video and get a coffee, that's okay. Carry on. Finances. Where's your finances going? And I'm not giving any financial advice, but just ask that basic question. Where are you going, kind of thing. Where's your trajectory? Because if you're aimless, you're never going to get anywhere. Moving on to dreams. What is your dreams? What's God put in your heart? Where is your calling? And these are very important questions. And even right now, even though I do have a pretty strong understanding of where I sit, I still struggle with this sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, am I really called to speak to the nations, Lord? Like it's not really manifesting at all in the physical. Am I called to be a preacher? Even though whenever I encounter a preacher in real life, I'm they don't even consider me a peer in any kind of way. Lord, what, like, is this actually my vocation? I feel like some wires are not lining up with what you're calling me to be. And I just encourage you, just be patient with yourself and finding your dreams, but checking in, where are you going, where do you want to go? Tomorrow is never going to happen. What are you doing today, and what's the Lord want you to do today? Moving forward, hobbies. We like to do stuff is outside of God. And what do you like to do? Is it eating up too much time, or do you need to actually do more hobbies? There's a saying. There's actually a term for this. There's telic and there's atelic things to do. Now, telic is like, I need to go wash the kitchen, or I need to go do the dishwashers. I only have one dishwasher. You do the dishwasher, you complete it, and you get it done. But something that's atelic, which is really a powerful thing to do, is going for a hike. Is there a goal when you go for a hike? Obviously, you're going up a mountain or you're going down a trail, but is it to accomplish the hike? No, it's more to just go and be. And what kind of atelic, activities are in your life, and are you making time for them? I talked about my wife, and she's very much aware of this, but she's really good at doing telic things, getting things done. But she has a really big struggle of doing atelic things, of just going and doing her stamps. I have to remind her, go and do your stamps, make cards, who cares? You got 3 hours, just go be, and I could see her leaving, just the weight coming off of her. And it's amazing. So check in with what your hobbies, your relationships. Relationships take time. And sometimes we don't want to spend that time to cultivate relationships. Check in, like, are people actually just equate, and also be real with some people are well-meaning, and especially family members. They're well-meaning, and they say that they're your friends, but do they really actually take the time to text you, to actually hang out with you? And be very truthful with yourself, of like, is this family member actually my friend, or is it more just, we see once each other once in a while, we say hi, but we really don't know each other anymore. And where I'm going with this is, just check in with every single relationship with your life, and even make the decision, maybe I need to go make some more friends. And I got to put the effort in to do that, and it's hard, and it's not easy, but it's checking in and being real with yourself. Let's move on. Career. This one's a toughie, because I'm in a career that I want out, but I do it because of my responsibilities, and I'm not stuck in a career. I'm very thankful for what I have. It could be 10 times worse, but I see what God wants me to go into, and I want it now. I'm very impatient that way. And but with your career, you really got to ask the question, is this where you want to be 10 years from now? If you can say a complete yes, then do it for sure. And if it's your calling, all the power to you. But if it's something you're struggling with daily, you got to go to the Lord about it and ask him where to go, because just choosing where you want to go isn't particularly a good thing. The Lord's reminding me, there was a actor in Friends, and he said this. He actually got the American dream. He got everything, got the house, got everything. And he said 6 months later he was miserable. And it's because stuff just doesn't bring happiness. It doesn't solve your problems. And I don't know why with this regards with career, but money and attaining things, and attaining, let's say, your dream home. I'm not saying don't have a dream home. I'm just saying that things are not going to solve your problems. Millions of dollars is not going to solve your problems. It's not going to create happiness. I would challenge you that the only way for happiness is actually the Lord. Period. Moving on. Mental health. With mental health, there is so much. And I'll be making a lot of videos in the future about mental health. But there's a runner out there And he has a really awesome system that I use when I'm running. And if you go running, obviously when you first start, sometimes you're doing actually really good. I got a lot of energy kind of thing, but eventually you start getting sluggish. You start having pain in your leg or your knee, and it dissipates. But it's a big mental game. This method that I was taught, A, B, and C, can be used actually for a mental method too. A is like you're really good, you're doing good, things are going well, so you're running, you're feeling good, you're doing good, and you are swell. Now B is kind of mediocre. You're like, okay, I'm feeling it, but I got a good attitude about this. Things are going okay, but I'm not. You're kind of in that medium ground. C is the last one. That is you're slogging. You can't breathe. You're like, I can't. I'm losing my mental. I can't keep on top of my breath. My body is screaming in pain. But where this guy this runner, this ABC method, he runs 100 kilometers. Like, I'm not saying that's normal for normal people. Far from it. But he said the system that he learned, ABC and system, we're somewhere in the ABC system, and it's just saying where we are at. Where's my mental? A, B, or C. And we actually move periodically from ABC, and just actually recognizing that awareness of being in C or B or A really helps where you're at, because mental health is like waves, and the wave will dissipate. The wave will go away. And that's a huge revelation for me back when I was extraordinarily suicidal, that understanding that you're in the wave, you don't need to make any decisions right now. Give yourself permission not to make decisions or life decisions right now, and let the wave go past. I know it sucks. I know it feels rough, but you're in C. And once you're like, okay, I'm in C, it's going to go past. Eventually, I will go back to B. It will happen. Anyways, that's a really awesome one of just checking in with yourself. Let's do physical health. I think everybody, especially post high school, when you're not doing phys ed every single week, you need to take your physical health into your hands. And this is coming from somebody who's been fat twice. Okay, this is the last time. I'm not being fat anymore. You need to take your physical health into your own hands. And sometimes you just want to give up. I get it. But I think it's having a plan, because you're not going to go anywhere if you don't have a plan. And figure out what you like, right? I like running. Maybe somebody else likes swimming. There's so many options out there. Or just find what movement that you enjoy. I think that's the biggest advice I could ever give on that one, because everyone can tell you a bazillion different exercises, but if you're not enjoying it and at a deep level, I'm not saying when you start, okay, but when you're a kid, you most likely did enjoy some type of physical activity when you were a kid. You really got to recheck into yourself of, what did I like as a kid? And there is a few out there that don't like physical activity, period. Okay, well, you can walk. And walking is actually one of the best ways, easy on your joints, and you can walk for an hour. Put on a video, go for a walk on a treadmill. Very easy, low stress. It's just about making the time. And that's all I can really say on that. And checking in where you're at physically, and you can use the A, B, and C system. I don't need to go into it in detail with that, but where are you at physically, kind of thing. And let's move on. Activities. When I say activities, like, what do you want to do, right? Do you want to go bungee jumping? Do you want to go Maui? You're like, oh, that's a lot of money. I know it's a lot of money for me. I want to go to Maui. But I think we sometimes just go on autopilot when it comes to doing experiences in our life that we want to do. And I know for a fact God wants us to do experiences too. And God wants me to go to Maui again. I went there in my honeymoon, but God wants me to go again. And I think once you actually make a plan of like, okay, I want to go back to Maui, or I want to go, for me, my bucket list, I want to go to Israel. Once you make the plan in your mind, okay, we're going to do this. We're in agreement, especially when you're married, in agreement. Okay, we're going to start planning for this. We're going to start saving for this. When you start actually having intentions, realistic intentions, things will manifest. Your plans will manifest. Okay. And I would say just really check in. What activities do you want to do? Because there is things out there that will make you happy to do, especially traveling. There could be other things that you want to do. I want to go paintballing. I don't have a crazy amount of examples, but you guys get the gist. My last-ish one is time, and I said cut, cut, cut. So our time is our most valuable asset. What are you spending your time on? Um, it, it is so paramount that you're not doom scrolling every single night. How much are you doom scrolling? I'm bad for this on YouTube, and I got to catch myself. I need the Lord to rein me in. I need to actually set time. Okay, I'm going to do doom scroll for 20 minutes and I'm done. I'm not going to doom scroll for 3 hours because these apps are so addicting, friends. Time, really, really slow down. That's my biggest one. Slow down. There's too much going on. What is your priority? And I know I haven't talked about a lot about God, but our next one is God. And it really has to do with time. It's two things, actually. I keep saying this about the Bible. The Bible can be summed up in one word: redemption. Okay? My second one is awareness. I noticed reading the Bible, God wants you to be aware of him 24 hours a day. You're like, oh, that's impossible. I'm sleeping, Tyler. You can be with the Lord in your dreams. Just ask Joseph, okay? Anyways, awareness of him. Yes, you're believing in a God that's invisible to you. You don't see him every day, but you can feel him, huh? That's how I came to Christ. Back when I was a heathen, I felt the presence. I'm like, what is this? Oh, what's going on in me? I thought I was crazy. I wasn't. But God was there. God was real. And what are you spending your time on? Are you actually making time for the Lord? Are you loving the Lord? And I'm not talking about Bible reading. I'm not talking about praying particularly. I'm talking about going to work and always having your mind on the Lord. There's a really popular nun named Mother Teresa. Apparently her biggest advice for people was just say, "Morning, Jesus," And if you need to do that, go for it. I actually do that in a different way, but it really just makes you aware of the Lord, really tune into the Lord. And you got to keep tuning into the Lord daily. And why am I talking about this with checking in? Because I can tell that I mentioned this one last, but this one should be first. And this one always goes last on the list, if you notice, when you start derailing your life. But we need to slot that one first. Where am I spending time with the Lord? Am I spending time in my bedroom? Am I reading Bible? Am I praying? What am I doing with the Lord? Am I dwelling with him throughout the day? I get an image that there's a lot of people who have accepted Christ. They accepted Jesus. They're like, yes, Lord, you died for my sins. I accept it. But when they face him at the end of time and they have a truthful conversation, he's going to ask him, did you spend time with me? And there's going to be a lot of people who will be shown the minutes that you've given the Lord. And it was only minutes in your whole life, maybe a little bit more. But when you're in him every single day with your awareness, always with your mind on him, asking where he is in the room, you start living with him. And you can honestly answer him when you do have that conversation of like, Lord, you were there every day. When I was working at the office or when I was playing with my kids, you were there. Really tap into that awareness, because that's what life's all about. And life's kind of meaningless without God. And I know that sounds like way too much. There is other things. I get it. But all said and done, this is the only relationship that truly matters. All other relationships are second, third, tertiary, This one is the only one that really actually matters. I want you to tap into this, and I want to challenge you guys to just say good morning, Jesus. Just a simple saying in the morning. Good morning, Jesus. It's going to change your life. You take care.